Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode, if you will, of What's Next, where we take a look at things we can do in business, for ourselves, for our family, for our brains during these really crazy, uncertain COVID times. A lot of that's about money. And so my guest now, Kevin O'Keefe. Hello, Kevin.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, good. Kevin is a money guy. He's with Searchlight Lending. And Kevin has some understanding of things change. It is April the 9th right now. So just give a little date on where we are. Kevin, there's some money available to help small business. There's grant money, there's loan money. Can you give us a little thumbnail sketch and help us understand how to navigate that for small business?
I can give you a way of looking at it and a way of approaching. What I can't give you is any certainty.
That would be too easy.
What I can give you is there's a $2.2 trillion aid bill that the government has put in place and passed, and 360 billion of that is for individuals and small business. As you might imagine, the applications are overwhelming. There are two pieces to it. One is called EIDL, which is an application that individuals can make directly to the SBA. And you can just go to the SBA website, or you can send me an email and I'll send you the link. That program is essentially to reimburse business people and employees for losses caused by the COVID virus epidemic. It has some interesting characteristics. By the way, these characteristics change 2 or 3 times a day as the government keeps adding regulations to it to help clarify what it is. But what we know so far is you go to that website, you say, I'm suffering from the COVID virus, either by lost wages, lost income, my business is shut down, whatever it might be, and you apply for a loan. The interesting thing about this loan is a chunk of it does not have to be paid back. So at the bottom of a 2 to 3 page loan application, you fill in the usual simple stuff, no attachments necessary. And at the bottom, there's a line that says, would you like a $10,000 grant right now to your checking account? And if you do, give us the name of your bank, your routing number, and your account number. And you, of course, check yes. And then you sign in, you submit the application, and you get a application number. I have to tell you, that's all you get.
Okay. No instant
anything. You're supposed
no
to
Amazon drone at the door with a sack of cash.
No.
Right.
Amazon does not show up with your check. You are supposed to get confirmation, and you're supposed to get the money within 3 to 10 days. Now, it's been almost 10 days, and I have no clients who've gotten any money. So that's not surprising. My other understanding is about 50% of that money has already been applied for. So if you have not done it, do it now, and literally do it right now.
Got it.
Okay, by the way, that loan, quote unquote loan, is forgivable if you keep, it is forgivable if the balance of your loan application is turned down. So that's the first step in this loan application. There is a second step, which will take much longer because it's SBA. It'll probably take 6 months to a year. If that application is turned down, the $10,000 is forgiven. I can pretty much guarantee it's going to be turned down. And if it isn't, if you have to pay it back, it's still money you wouldn't have had. So, I haven't met anybody with that problem yet. The second program is a payroll protection program. This is a little different. This you have to go through a broker, and the broker and or the bank the broker works with actually funds the loan.
Got
it. The
issue
there is the SBA, well, let me back up. Why isn't Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citi, and Morgan throwing money out the door as fast as they can, since the SBA has said they will reimburse those banks for doing this?
Right.
Well, because they haven't told them how.
They haven't told them how to disperse it or how they're getting it back, or
when they'll be reimbursed.
Oh, banks like to know that.
Yeah, they do have a tendency. So that's really the issue there. And it's a moving target. So the first thing the banks did was say, we're not ready. So all the people lined up at the door last Friday morning, they basically said, we're not taking any applications. The second thing they said was, we are only taking applications from people who have a banking relationship with us and a loan relationship. That was B of A's and Wells's approach. A couple of the others too. I'm not trashing the banks. I'm just saying they were.
No, I'll be happy to step in and do that. For I have paid my loans with Wells Fargo, and they consider me not a customer anymore. So
not a customer. There you go.
Yeah. So the banks, that's in flux.
Very much in flux.
Okay.
However, it's the same situation. The answer is do it. Do it. Put in for a loan. Ask for the money. Now, this loan, they will give you off the bat, according to what the SBA says, 2.5 times your average monthly wage paid or employment paid for the last 12 months, not 2019, but for the last 12 months as of the date you make the application.
Right.
You don't have to be perfect. Get it as close as you can.
Right.
So it's 2.5 times. Now, the condition on getting that forgiven is you have to continue to pay your employees for 8 weeks.
Right.
You are allowed to use 30% of that money for other things, such as rent, heat, that kind of stuff.
Okay. I didn't know
You
that.
only have to use 70% of it for wages.
Oh,
By the way, if you're a sole proprietor, yes, you're an employer, but you are also an employee. So you can include your own compensation. If you draw money out of your business, take the last 12 months, that's your number. So there's a lot of flexibility. The answer is, when you look at these words, don't interpret them the way you have for the last 30 years. Employer doesn't mean employer anymore. For example, I would say I'm an independent contractor. I don't employ anybody. Under this rule, I do.
You do. Got it.
So,
that makes sense.
So yeah, don't say I can't do it because they're using a word I can't use.
Got it. So there's perfect. So just to kind of recap and keep things as simple as possible, that 10 grand forgivable, probably we'll see about that, SBA.gov.
Yes.
More complicated, the payroll loan comes to a bank or a lender. So that means it could be, you're a lender, not a bank. We could go to a mortgage broker lender type guy to help us.
Yes.
And then also, there's a lot going on with the bank. So if you're a small business not well connected with a bank, these are challenges. I mean, if you're not running a big business with a big account, the big banks aren't paying attention to you. So there is some movement now trying to sort that out. So we push some of the money down to the smaller, more at-risk businesses.
Yes, this program is for employers who have less than 500 employees.
Got it.
My suggestion for any small business, and that is not a small business in my view.
Right.
For any small business, sole proprietor, restaurant, anything like that, get an application in. If your bank won't take it, I have a broker who will take your application and will fund your loan if it's approved by the SBA. It has
Beautiful.
to go from the
Good
broker
news.
to the SBA.
Got it. So
we don't
there
know
is
what's going to happen. That's a black box.
Right. So we don't know what's going to happen, but there is something we can do as small business owners, which is get the application, start the process. That's
exactly.
That's
and
what
there's no penalty for if they say here's $100,000 and you say I don't want it. No penalty. That's fine.
I could use it. So if anyone has that, call me. I'll put never mind. Kevin O'Keefe, Searchlight Lending, I really appreciate you. I'd love to have you back in a week or so and talk a little bit more about how we get the money we need to make some money as we move forward in these weird times. Because with a little money, a little help, and a little support from our friends, we can do this.